Tomorrow is the 25th of July 2018, a big day for Pakistan as the general elections 2018 will be conducted tomorrow. As a national responsibility, it is important for every citizen of Pakistan to cast their votes tomorrow, and we encourage all our viewers to do the same. B2B World will be beginning its special transmission on elections now, and the transmission will begin by our anchor Omer KHalid, who will be talking about different agendas and factors which are important for you as a voter to know. So let's go to Omer KHalid and speak to him regarding what will be on his agenda today. So Omer, of course, you are beginning the transmission for us regarding the elections day. What is on the agenda for you and for our viewers?
Well, you know, 12,570 candidates are vying for the seats of the National Assembly and the provincial assemblies. There are 4 provincial assemblies, as you know, and 1 National Assembly. The total number of polling stations is 85,307. We will be, of course, talking about the people, people of Pakistan who will be voting tomorrow, how to vote tomorrow, what are the general principles of voting, what you need to bring with you when you cast your vote, what will make the vote inaccessible for voting, and what will make the vote as a liable and a genuine vote. There are certain principles and guidelines that you need to follow. Also, we will talk about the general security that has been put in place to ensure that the elections are properly held and under a proper neutral environment as well. We will be talking about the top politicians that are taking part in these elections, the top parties that are taking part in these elections. How are they going to fare, and what is the general perception as far as they're faring compared to the 2013 elections? Which party is going to come up tops in the 2018 elections? Of course, we will obviously know by the end of this electoral process, but we can generally kind of assume on which party is having the most people's of vote, or they feel that this is the party that's going to come up as the leader in the 2018 elections. Now, not only is there the National Assembly elections, but also the Provincial Assembly elections. So whoever will be voting in their specific stations will be also voting for the Provincial Assemblies and the National Assembly. So ladies and gentlemen, we will begin this election transmission. It's going to be a marathon transmission. We will be talking to different analysts, different guests. We will be talking amongst ourselves as well as to what is the importance of the electoral process, how important is the continuation of democracy for a country like Pakistan, and how is this whole election process going to take place. But after this short break, stay with us. And welcome back. You're watching the special transmission of the election 2018. I'm your host, Omer KHalid, where we begin this marathon transmission of these elections 2018 that will continue until the final results pour in from these elections that are going to be held tomorrow. A total of 342 National Assembly seats are in the pipeline, in the grabs for these general elections. Also, there are the provincial assembly seats from Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab, as well as Balochistan. In Sindh, 168 seats are up for grabs. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 124. In Balochistan, 65. While in Punjab, a total of 371 seats are up for grabs for the provincial assembly seats. Now, different political parties are also taking part in this whole process. The top parties being Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the Pakistan People's Party, and the PMLN. Before we go to all this process of how it's going to be, how the political parties are faring, how we estimate which political party is going to come up tops in the elections, how are the different preparations going on, let me introduce them to you my two very eminent guests that have come to begin this marathon transmission with me. On my very right is Mr. Zahid Ghishkori. You're a senior journalist. Thank you very much, Ghishkori Sahab, to have joined us. After Ghishkori Sahab is Mr. Javeed Rana. You're a renowned analyst and you've been a regular at our shows when we've even talked about the pre-polling process and how it's all going to move forward. And you've informed us on many a times about how this is going to go forward. Zahid Ghishkori Sahab, let's begin with you. 12,570 candidates. That's a huge amount for the 20 election commissions. But before we go towards these candidates and how it's all going to play out, we are going live to the Secretary Election Commission, who is addressing the media. Let's see what he has to say.
लगातार आपके मुख्तलिफ चैनल्स तस्वीर दिखा रहे हैं कि पोलिंग का अमला सिक्योरिटी जवानों के साथ मिलजुल के अपनी मंजिल की तरफ रवाना हैं। मैं ये भी शेयर करना चाहता हूँ कि हमें अभी भी अमन आमा के चैलेंजेस हमारे सामने हैं। अल्लाह के फजल से हम कल पुरअमन इलेक्शन देखना चाहते हैं, लेकिन ये चैलेंज मैं फिर आपके सामने रखना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे सामने मौजूद है। हमें तरह तरह की थ्रेट्स अभी भी रिसीव हो रही हैं। कुछ चीज़ें मैं आपके हवाले से ज़रूर करना चाहूँगा कि कल पोलिंग का वक्त इंशाल्लाह 6 बजे तक है और कल 7 बजे तक आप रिज़ल्ट अनाउंस नहीं कर सकते हैं। 7 बजे के बाद हम सब मिलजुल के इंशाल्लाह इलेक्शन का रिज़ल्ट शेयर करना शुरू कर देंगे। कुछ चीज़ें जो हम सुबह से देख रहे थे, जो मीडिया के ऊपर आ रही हैं, उनमें से मैं आपको ये एक किस्म की कॉशन करना चाह रहा था कि वो सारी शायद इतनी एक्यूरेट नहीं है। कि किसी जगहों के ऊपर हमने तहकीक की तो कुछ बैलेट पेपर्स पुराने इलेक्शनों के नज़र आए, कहीं लोकल गवर्नमेंट के बैलेट पेपर्स भी नज़र आए जिनको दिखाया गया सोशल मीडिया पे शायद ये कोई ऐसी चीज़ है, या जिसे कहते हैं फ़र्ज़ी बैलेट पेपर भी दिखाए गए। वो हैं ही फ़र्ज़ी जिसके ऊपर फ़र्ज़ी लिखा गया है। तो मेरी आप सब से रिक्वेस्ट ये है और आपके ज़रिए आपके तमाम कुलीग जो मुख्तलिफ़ जगहों पे फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं कि सोशल मीडिया पे चलने वाली ऐसी तस्वीर और ऐसी वीडियोस को चेक कर लें ताकि आवाम में एक किस्म का मनफी तासुर ना जाए और एक मस्बत फ़िज़ा में हम इंशाअल्लाह ताला इलेक्शन के अंदर जाएं। मैंने अभी नादरा से रिपोर्ट तलब की थी कि जो लाहौर में ये जो शनाख्ती कार्ड मिले हैं, मुझे उन्होंने बताया है कि सारे के सारे शनाख्ती कार्ड ज़ायदुल मयाद थे और ऐसे लोगों के थे जिनको नए शनाख्ती कार्ड जारी हो चुके हैं। और ये क्यों उस जगह पे पाए गए, किसने वहाँ पे रखे, यकीनन उसकी कोई ना कोई वजह होगी। ये चांस नहीं हो सकता है कि बोरियों में इकट्ठे इतने शनाख्ती कार्ड मिल जाएं। तो मुझे चेयरमैन नादरा ने यकीन दहानी कराई है कि वो इसकी तहकीक करेंगे और जो हक़ाइक़ हैं वो कौम के सामने लाएंगे। लेकिन इसमें एक मस्बत चीज़ है कि ये चीज़ें अनअर्थ भी हो रही हैं, यानी कि ये चीज़ें छुप नहीं रही हैं, आपके ज़रिए कौम तक पहुंच रही हैं और उससे ट्रांसपेरेंसी के अंदर भी इजाफ़ा हो रहा है। मैं ये अर्ज़ आपके तवस्सुत से एक बहुत अहम बात अपने तमाम रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर्स और डिस्ट्रिक्ट रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर से करना चाहूँगा कि रिज़ल्ट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम कानून के तहत मैंडेटरी है। रिज़ल्ट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम के तहत ही आपने हमें रिज़ल्ट अरसाल करना है। तो मेरी तमाम अपने काबिल एहतराम रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर साहबान से दरख्वास्त है कि रिज़ल्ट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम ही का तरीक़ाकार इस्तेमाल किया जाए। इसी तरह हमें बाज़ जगहों से ये शिकायत आई कि शायद रिज़ल्ट ट्रांसमिशन सिस्टम के ऊपर भी कुछ लोग पसो पेश कर रहे हैं या उनके ऊपर उनको कोई वहम है। मेरी उन सब रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर साहबान से गुजारिश है कि आरटीएस को कामयाब करें और हमें आरटीएस के ज़रिए रिज़ल्ट फ़ौरी भेजें। आरटीएस का रिज़ल्ट फ़ौरी आने से मुख्तलिफ़ शकूक और मुख्तलिफ़ जैसे कहते हैं कॉन्स्पिरेसीज़ खुद ब खुद दम तोड़ जाएंगी, क्योंकि उसके ज़रिए बड़े रियल टाइम में फ़ौरी रिज़ल्ट मौसूल होना शुरू हो जाएगा। 8300 की अभी तक पोजीशन ये है कि 1.5 करोड़ लोग अभी तक 8300 को हिट कर चुके हैं। मैं तमाम आवाम से अपील करता हूँ कि आज रात तक अपने अपने वोट 8300 पे ज़रूर चेक कर लीजिए, इसलिए कि कल चेक करना शुरू करेंगे तो हो सकता है ट्रैफिक का इतनी कंजेशन हो कि आपको उसके लिए वक्त दरकार हो। तो अभी से 8300
सेक्रेटरी इलेक्शन कमीशन बाबर याकूब मीडिया को इलेक्शन से मुतालिक ब्रीफ कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि
That was the Secretary Election Commission, Babar Yaqub, addressing media, in which he was talking about the law and order challenges that still persist day before the elections. He also said that the time for the elections is between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. He also said that the results of these elections cannot be announced before 7 p.m. Only after 7 p.m. will the results of these elections begin to be announced. Also, he talked about media performance today. He talked about the ballot papers that were shown on certain media outlets. He said that the pics and videos that are shown on social media need to be properly controlled by the media houses and need to be properly checked as well before they are shown on these media houses. He said the result management system is mandatory for the result of elections. And he also talked about something that we're going to talk in this transmission as well, the 8300, the number that you have to text to know a detailed account of where you have to vote, the constituency number, the place, the address where you have to go along with your original ID cards to have your vote cast. Now, let's continue our conversation. Zahid, Ghishkori sahab, tomorrow is a huge day. 12,570 candidates, as I was saying before. The Secretary Election Commission, Babar Yaqub, began his talk to the media. It's an important number. Also, the Provincial Assembly elections, the National Assembly elections, a lot of top parties are vying in this. How do you view the whole pre-poll process?
This is very interesting, and I have seen many reports in international media. Some are calling it historic dirty election going to be held in Pakistan. Some are just pouring in, exaggerating in my viewpoint that extra or ultra-mile influence of Pakistan's security establishment in pre-polling and pre-campaigning processing just to undermine that process, just to get desired result day after tomorrow. But my viewpoint is different. To understand the situation, the first one about the campaign, and secondly, definitely after the election and what happened in the last 5 years, the most important thing is just let's start it. Let me go back to 3 months back from here when the election process and the date was announced. Then all political parties, particularly 3 major political parties, started their campaigns. I agree at this point, at least many people are saying that some political parties were not given level playing field to run their campaigns independently, freely. Many hurdles and obstacles were put in their way. But yes, at some extent, maybe you have seen it that 5 to 6 aspirants were declared disqualified by the courts, and it happened just weeks before the elections. Many people questioned the timing of the announcement of the judgment, and the one episode of Nawaz Sharif, and unfortunately 3 to 4 suicide bombing in Pakistan.
Of course, these unfortunate incidents that happened in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan, and in Mastung, such a large amount of people.
And it hit the last nail in DI Khan.
Of course. I mean, the whole electioneering process has undergone hurdles, but we are in that final phase. Tomorrow is the big day of the elections. Javeed Saab, cyberspace, social media has been used very effectively in this elections 2018. How important has been the use of cyberspace for the electioneering process this time? Your point of view?
I think the social media is a new phenomenon, and how far it has trickled down its effects, it's anybody's guess. I think we are going to witness it by tomorrow, by the end of the day. Again, but at the same time, we as a journalist, we all deal with the hard information. If our hard information is correct, that means we can better analyze. If our hard information is distorted, if there is an incident, supposedly if there is an alleged meddling by the intelligence agency, if it is an isolated incident, so what would happen on the social media? They would generalize it. They will make a sweeping judgment. Now international media is using the word of dirtiest election. This is a very, very unfair term. We know in this country the elections were massively rigged. We don't need to go back to the decades. Just in 2013, there were rigging on the election day.
All right.
I think that is the most important. But the verdict has already come. Now, I'm receiving emails whereby references are being given from international media. They're calling it dirtiest. So, international media has an agenda. Americans have an agenda. Their agenda is basically to promote those political parties and those leaders who are in line, who are in sync with them when it comes to Afghanistan, when it comes to Indian occupied Kashmir. So I would say, with all due respect to the PMLN, they have been in the good book of Americans. They have been in the good book of the Indians, because former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's perception and his approach towards solving Kashmir dispute and to handle the crisis, the insurgency in Afghanistan, is not very different to what Americans think. It's not very different to what Indian thinks. And I think because of those reasons, there is an element of exaggeration. The manner with which the meddling has taken place, there are surely problems.
All right.
Like there are, it would have been far better had the case of Hanif Abbasi, the PMLN candidate, had it been decided 3 months before, 6 months before. It has been lingering on for so many years.
And now the Supreme Court Lahore Registry has also dismissed the plea of
I think that's a very positive verdict. That's a very positive verdict.
All right, we'll continue this discussion, but we've been joined by our correspondent Ali Andaz, where he's going to talk to us about these elections. First of all, Ali, thank you very much to have joined us. How are the preparations going on for the elections that are to be held tomorrow?
Yes, all is set for tomorrow's general elections across Pakistan. Election Commission of Pakistan has finalized all preparations for tomorrow's general elections to be held across Pakistan. Polling will be held in more than 85,000 polling stations, 85,360 to be exact, and more than 15,000 candidates are participating in these general elections. However, 2 National Assembly and 6 Provincial Assembly seats where the polling has been postponed due to various reasons, including deaths of candidates in attacks. Election Commission of Pakistan has delivered all polling material, including ballot boxes and ballot papers, to the concerned polling stations across Pakistan. However, there was a little delay in delivery of these polling related material. Election Commission of Pakistan was supposed to deliver all this polling material by the midnight of 23rd July. However, by today's morning, Election Commission of Pakistan has successfully delivered all the polling material to the polling stations across Pakistan, and all is set. The country is all geared up for tomorrow's general elections.
All right, Ali, tell us about the security arrangements, because I know that the army personnel have been deployed all over the country. There are a lot of over 20,000 sensitive polling stations all across the country for tomorrow's National Assembly and Provincial Assembly elections. Now, security is very important in the context of the incidents that have happened in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan provinces in the last few days. How much of importance has the government and the institutions put on security for these general elections 2018?
Yes, security has been the major concern of all political parties, the Election Commission of Pakistan, provincial governments and the federal governments. We have seen some high-profile attacks during the election campaigns in which candidates have lost their lives. So Election Commission of Pakistan has held several meetings with the provincial governments to ensure security. across Pakistan. Out of more than 85,000 polling stations, 17,000 polling stations have been declared highly sensitive. In these 17,000 polling stations, Sindh has the largest number of highly sensitive polling stations, and to beef up the security of these sensitive polling stations, extra security personnel will be deployed, including rangers and extra troops deployment and police deployment. Under normal circumstances, 2 army personnel will be deployed inside the polling stations, while 2 will be deployed outside the polling station. Another thing that Election Commission has undertaken for the very first time is the installations of security cameras at these 17,000 polling stations to beef up the security, to keep an eye during the polling process. So we can say that Election Commission of Pakistan has tried its best to make foolproof security arrangements in consultation with the provincial governments and law enforcement agencies.
All right, Ali, also the Secretary Election Commission has just recently, a few minutes back, while talking to the media, said that the polling timings are between 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but the results are only going to be announced after 7 p.m. Now, what is the procedure of compilation of the results of these elections of the National Assembly and the provincial assemblies, and how are they going to be announced?
Yes, the Election Commission of Pakistan has gone high-tech this time as far as compilation and announcement of the result is concerned. We have witnessed in the past that there were several political parties who alleged widespread rigging during the 2013 general elections. However, those allegations of rigging were rejected by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. But Supreme Court of Pakistan did notice that there were irregularities during the 2013 general elections and compilation of results in the last elections. So in order to avoid all these controversies, the Election Commission of Pakistan has introduced 2 softwares, 2 steps for its polling staff to make the compilation of results more transparent. In the first step, the RTS, which is a result transmission system, will be used. The presiding officer will, after compilation of results, will take a photograph of the Form 45 and forward it to the returning officer. In the second step, where RMS system, which is result management system, will be used. In this system, the returning officer will take photograph of Form 47 after compilation of results and forward the photos of Form 47 to the Election Commission of Pakistan. During all this process and usage of system of RTS and RMS, Election Commission of Pakistan will have access to both these systems across Pakistan. And unofficial result will definitely be coming out by tomorrow's evening. But under the Constitution, the Election Commission of Pakistan is bound to announce results of the general elections within 14 days after the polling day. However, unofficial results will be announced by evening or by night of tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Ali Andaz. That was our correspondent Ali Andaz from the Election Commission of Pakistan. He was talking to us about the procedures, the preparations, the security arrangements that have been made, also the procedure on how the result is going to be compiled. Very interestingly, a 2-step procedure which makes it even more foolproof than the previous times. Zahid, Ghishkori sahab, we've just heard our correspondent talk about how stringent the procedure for these elections is this time. Will what the international correspondents have been saying just before we were talking as being not that clean an election as it should be, would those fears go away after this heftier procedure?
Listen, I agree to my friend panelist. He's very right that it's really exaggerated in speculations about Pakistan fair elections. It's premature to say this. I understand today even the independent newspaper, the leading newspaper of UK, said that Imran Khan is going to become Pakistan's next prime minister. But really on the ground, as we know, the understanding the situation and the things, just let me to complete a brief and outline of 3 political parties' candidature and the previous parliament and exactly what they are standing by today. Let's take example of 270 272 directly elected members of the National
Out of
Assembly
the
of Pakistan
342, yes.
from 2013 to 2018. Where do they stand today?
All right.
Because I'm sure 90% of them will decide Pakistan fate tomorrow. 272, one most important thing, 43% previously elected members of the National Assembly have either been changed their political loyalties,
All
their
right.
parties, or they have been disqualified by the Supreme Court of Pakistan or other courts, or either they have left their parties or they are not going to contest election this time.
All
this
right.
is 43.
All right.
115 out of 272 MNAs. Now you would be asking that which party ex-MNAs are standing right now. That a largely affected party is Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. 115 who left parties not contesting elections or changed their loyalties are disqualified by the courts. 61 belong to Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. This is very important.
All right.
And then 61 PMLN, 14 Pakistan People's Party, and 6 PTI, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, and then 12 MKM, and the smaller parties.
All right.
The important thing is only 19 former MNAs from PMLN who left PMLN are now contesting election on PTI ticket, and rest of the members are not contesting either, are not going to contest independently.
All right.
The issue is we should understand here right now. PTI was with 31 seats in previous parliament, 124 by PMLN, and 41 by PPP.
All right.
And now the size of PMLN cut down in shape of 62, 19 went to PTI. So my estimated and the research suggests that South Punjab, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is apparently going to dominate in South Punjab, which contains 54 National Assembly seats in Pakistan. And then come up to the Upper Punjab. PMLN appear to be dominate in Upper Punjab. And then in Sindh, Pakistan People's Party, in KPK, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, it appears that it will at least maintain the previous position.
All right.
So this is a serious debate. We should understand that the many people are saying that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf have very sweeping wave, very hot wave that may getting majority, maybe 100 plus or 20 plus seats. But many are saying that there is a neck-to-neck contest. But one element is not being debated in Pakistani media, or either are not being focused by journalists, particularly us. The issue is that there is a huge descent of votes, maybe in 100,000, which is being grabbed by 4 religious, newly formed political parties like Tehreek-e-Labbaik, like Allahu Akbar Tehreek, and 2 other parties like Milli Muslim League Supported Party. So this descent always been grabbed by Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz in Pakistan political history. But right now, this vote, if these political parties were not in the field, must have gone to PTI.
All right.
But this is not going to PTI this time. That's why neck-to-neck contests are being expected in Pakistan. Unexpected result could come out. This is my observation.
All right. Javeed Sahab, we've heard the analysis of Zahid Ghishkori Sahab as far as the seats are concerned and how the different political parties are going to play up in these elections tomorrow. Now, speaking of the top politicians, we've got the 3, Imran Khan, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Shehbaz Sharif, PMLN, Pakistan People's Party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. How has their campaigning been before these general elections, in your point of view?
I think People's Party's campaign was largely restricted to interior Sindh. and general perception is that relatively Bilawal Bhutto has attracted crowd. In Pakistan, I think technically speaking, we are all journalists, we know the method. If there are supposedly 25,000 people on the ground, and the camera can show them 200, 300,000.
All right.
Supposedly if there is a huge ground, and then after that ground there are buildings, and people are sitting on the on the top of the buildings, the camera can show that the entire ground is filled with crowd.
All right.
So it is these are camera images. On the basis of which we cannot say that the Bilawal has turned out to be very popular. I would say that it is his beginning.
All right.
It is the beginning of political career. And then he, to this extent that he has shown decency, he has not used a foul language, and the good luck to him, because he has not been part of the culture that exists in Pakistan, where our politicians have learned some abusive language, and they have unfortunately used against each other. So People's Party's entire political battle is confined to Sindh. But nonetheless, we should not forget that situation in Karachi, in the mega city, has changed. No longer we have a terrorist group there which was dominating in last general elections. And there is possibility that the federal parties like PTI, PMLN, People's Party, they are going to make their presence felt electorally this time around. And then we have a GDA, Grand Democratic Alliance. And I think probably People's Party would form the government, but if they don't manage it, if there are smaller groups form the government, that possibility does exist. We cannot rule that out. The reason being is that media, cable network has almost now reached even in the rural areas. Social media is also playing an important role. People, their thinking pattern is changing. And ignorance, illiteracy has been at the heart of the problems in Pakistan. Many people...
But now we can't say, Javeed Sahab, that people are ignorant, because all kinds of information
it
are
has
being
been.
transmitted.
But I am hoping this time around that a greater level of awareness will actually translate into voting. That is our best hope in Sindh.
Right.
But in Punjab, as my colleague Zahid has rightly pointed out, southern Punjab has been taken over by PTI. Because most of the mainstream political leaders, we call them as electables, they have defected from People's Party and from PML to the PTI. So they have great chance to win.
All right.
In the central Punjab, I think there is a tough contest. PML and traditional voter, they're activists, they've been siding with the jail leader Nawaz Sharif.
All right.
They are buying his narrative.
All right.
But there is also an element of disappointment among the cadres, because the perception is they would not be allowed to win. I think there is a possibility that the activists of the PMLN may not come out on the election day. They may not support.
Be as active as they've been in the 2013 elections.
May not play a facilitative role to bring out voters on the polling station.
All right.
That would go against PMLN. I think there could be surprises in the central Punjab. There could be surprises in Lahore. And that is, you see, now when we analyze, generally we believe that people are not much concerned about the corruption. Yes, partly that is true. But if they have a better alternative in leadership, they would be concerned about. We don't have better leadership.
All right.
But on religious ground, the vote is certainly going to be divided, and that would play out against the PMLN.
Javeed Sahab, who has campaigned the strongest before these elections? Has it been the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, the Pakistan People's Party, or the PMLN? Your point of view, very quick answer.
PTI. The PTI has an open ground. Because while they were campaigning, the members from the other parties, their leaders were joining them. And then I think they have also a success story. They launched campaign against corruption. The top leaders of PMLN has been jailed. So they have something to show to the public. And then when it comes to the People's Party, you see Zardari is not there in the election campaign. because unfortunately he's been being perceived as an icon of corruption, and People's Party, deep down they know it, that is a fact. That is why they fronted Bilawal Bhutto. He's a new face, he's a more acceptable.
But he's eloquent, he speaks well.
He speaks well in English.
Yes.
But when he tries to translate into Urdu, that is a problematic area.
All right.
But again, PMLN had a problem. It's a divisive house. One brother has a different narrative. The other brother has got a different narrative.
All right.
So I think that is going to go against
Divide the voters.
I think that basically PMLN as a party has become very confused, and that confusion has trickled down to the bottom.
All right. 105.96 million voters tomorrow are going to supposedly vote. I hope they all go out and vote in their respective constituencies for the National Assembly and the Provincial Assembly elections. What are the underlying factors, in your point of view, Zahid Saab, that one should consider before voting? As a voter, I'm going to vote, you're going to vote tomorrow, Javeed Saab will vote. What, in your point of view, are the factors that are very important before one votes?
As Javed rightly said that now social media and national media and private media make a very, very well informal and formal debate, discussion, and make aware of the people that please rightly choose their representative and tell the people, because the camera eyes and people now have been challenging their candidates in the campaigns, even the Vaderas and landlords and electable.
Something that was unheard of before.
Yes, and they even were criticizing them for the first time on camera to their representative that you have done nothing in our area, that's why we are not going to vote you. So our threatening calls, all fairness, and people are now well aware of that. Who could be their real representative in the parliament, who could resolve their issues, and they are only focusing on their own constituencies. They don't bother about national politics. They only want to keep focus on their representative. That's why electables are facing huge challenge. We could expect unexpected results from interior scene, from South Punjab, from rural areas, because people are now well aware of. But the most important thing and the message should come from this national TV to the message is that at least they should know that this time 2 points of view must be in their mind. One is who could be a good representative for them in their own constituencies, and the secondly is who could be the national leader which could get Pakistan out of all problems. One either is Bilawal is the new face, just viewing his party background in the past, then the PTI is testing its nerve for the first time for center and believe and hoping that they are going to form the government, then the PMLN pushing its narrative and telling the people that they have done a great job in the previous past 5 years, and then they are seeking vote on their work and the projects, and they have done the job on this. But the important thing to tell the people is, in my view, the last one, they should come out this time. The return, the ratio of the turnout must be 50 plus. And it must be historic one.
Because it's the people's vote that is going to change the political arena of Pakistan.
And we hope that there should be no party. Which party is going to form the government tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we don't know, but vote for Pakistan at least and come out their home, please, and cast the vote.
All right.
And so we could at least tell the people, yes, we love votes and we want Pakistan future bright.
All right, Javeed. Now I'm going to ask for very quick answers on this. Election Commission of Pakistan, how has its role been in the pre-polling process? Your take, very quick answer.
I think by and large, Election Commission's role has been very fair. You see, they have postponed elections in the constituency of Hanifa Basi. It would have been unfair. So PMLN would be given chance in the by-election. There has been criticism from Sheikh Rashid. This is just tip of the iceberg. And they have managed to put in place a good technical infrastructure. whereby they have minimized the chances of rigging on polling day. You see, forget about pre-poll rigging. There's more propaganda and less facts on ground. But what is extremely important, and that is a polling day, that you have exercised your right of vote and your vote has been cast in somebody else's favor. That is most important. I think the kind of the technical infrastructure, the method, and the procedure they have put in place, that one must acknowledge. And I think that is going to yield a result. It is a 2018. We are far more advanced in technology as we were back in 2013. So there is a far less chance of rigging on election day. But nonetheless, it would be there where the internet would not be there, or internet is disruptive, or in the rural areas. And this rigging is not confined to the traditional allegations, only the establishment is the one player. These political parties, these individual leaders, they all have been a player. Whosoever would get a chance, they would go for rigging. But it is going to be the technology, it is going to be the private media, the in-time reporting, that is going to defeat
all right. But that brings me to the last
polling.
question before we go to the 6 p.m. news. The PEMRA has issued directives to all the media houses. It has asked to use, and it has used the word sobriety as far as covering the election process. They have asked the media houses to motivate and educate the public, to ask them to go and vote, and to have a proper public coverage of the whole electoral process, and also promote tolerance and not incite violence, whether it be religious or sectarian or otherwise. How has the media's role been, Zahid Saab, before the polling process in all of these months that has preceded these elections 2018? And do you feel the media houses will abide by the PEMRA rules and regulations?
I'm sure that being a working journalist, that media houses are supposed to follow their rules, and somehow they have been following it. In these elections, these are third election in my career, and third election as private media come out, at least in Pakistan. This one was the most, I think, in a better way. This time media played very better role, at least not like that in 2008 or in 2013. And they vehemently, this running campaign, awareness campaign to tell the people, come out and vote. And yes, media unfortunately have been polarized in Pakistan. Some media houses supporting one party, other one was supporting other party. But in somehow they did not show violence, as at least not created panic among minds of people, as back-to-back suicide bombing happened in Pakistan. Media kept less focus because they did not interrupt the momentum of political parties' campaigns to make awareness in people's minds.
Thank you very much, Zahid Ghishkori. Thank you very much, Javeed Saab. We have just begun our election transmission 2018. This transmission is going to go on for the next around 2 days, let's put it that way, till the last election results come in. But 8300, text to this number to find out, with your CNIC number, to find out exactly where you have to cast your votes. Don't forget that, and cast your votes tomorrow. It's very important. It's you, the people of Pakistan, that are going to vote the electables tomorrow into power in the National Assembly and the Provincial Assembly. Omer, KHalid bids you farewell from this part of the transmission. It's time for the 6 p.m. news, after which Sana Maqbool will take over the transmission. Take care. Allah Hafiz.